So I have a confession to make. I am a liar from time to time. And at the end of video 2, I said everyone loves dividing complex numbers. Well, now we're in video 3, and I can admit most people do not like dividing complex numbers, but here we are. Okay, so again, remember that we always want things in the form a plus bi. Real part, then imaginary part, okay? And you may need, and by may I mean pretty much all the time you're going to rationalize the denominator. We'll review how to rationalize denominators. And we'll also review what the heck that even means, all right? So again, a lot of times in math, there's this expectation that you just remember everything you've ever learned in math. Hint, spoiler, plot twist, I don't remember half of the things I learned in a math class, okay? We forget things. We relearn them. It's easier to relearn them the second time. Okay, let's get into things. Example 3. Simplify. Part A. I didn't even make an I joke. I'm very proud of myself. 2 plus 3i over 2. This is the best case scenario. If you get something like this, you go, just count yourself lucky. Because there's no rationalizing the denominator necessary here. In order to get this in the form of this, all we need to do is separate it. And remember, addition in the top, we can split this up. Addition in the bottom cannot be split up. Okay, so this is just 2 divided by 2 plus 3i divided by 2 because the addition is in the numerator. And now we can simplify 2 divided by 2 is just 1. And then usually how we write this term is to write the number part, which is 3/2, times I. So now it's really in that a plus bi format that I love. I was going to say we love, but I don't know if you love it. I love it. So that's a good case. That's the best case scenario. That's the happy face case. All right. But sometimes, you know, the world is not as you want it to be, as I'm sure the world currently is not how many of us want it to be. And we can do something like part B. Okay. That's 5 divided by 2 plus I. So again, addition in the denominator, this plus in the denominator, that's a problem. This is not just 5 over 2, 5 over I. Nope, does not work that way. I didn't make the rules. I don't even enforce the rules. I just judge you on your ability to follow the rules. Okay, so we need to rationalize the denominator because this is a kind of like an irrational number. It's not actually irrational, but it's similar because it has a square root. So if you remember, again, maybe you don't remember this at all, in which case, here's how it works. The way to simplify this, let me just rewrite this real quick, is to multiply the top in the denominator by 1. And specifically, we're going to multiply it by the conjugate of the denominator. This is called the conjugate of the denominator. And we'll see why we did that in a second. But when I say multiply by 1, that's because this fraction right here, 2 minus I divided by itself, anything divided by itself is 1. So we're not changing this thing that we started with. Because if we change it, what's the point? If we change it, the equal sign is a lie. I know I said I'm kind of a liar, but I'm not that much of a liar. Okay? So we have write this. Definitely not an English professor either. Now we have to multiply this through. On the top, we have to distribute. On the bottom, we have to FOIL. I'll save you a little bit of time. You may or may not remember this, but it's true and a good shortcut. If you ever have something like this, a plus b times a minus b, this is a very special formula called the difference of squares. And if you FOIL this out, it always simplifies to the first thing squared minus the second thing squared. This is a really good shortcut. If you want to FOIL, that's okay too. You have options. I don't like foiling if I don't have to, so I like shortcuts. Either is okay. So on the top, we have 5 times 2 and 5 minus negative I. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times negative I is minus 5i. In the denominator, you can either FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, or use a shortcut here because it's something plus a second, that same thing minus the second. It's this special formula, difference of squares. So it becomes the first thing squared, 2 squared is 4, minus the second thing squared, I squared is -1. We'll keep it as I squared for now. All right. So we just keep simplifying. The top is a little stuck. The bottom though, 4 minus I squared, replace I squared as -1. Keep simplifying. Top is stuck. Bottom is 4 minus a -1. Well, that's just 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. And it's your lucky day. This is just like part A, right? A complex number divided by a real number. We can split this up because now the subtraction is in the top. So this is just 10 divided by 5 minus 5i divided by 5. Or just 2 minus 5 over 5 times I. Usually we'll just write 2 minus I. We usually don't write 1i. I would take either one. Either one. Goodness. That's how you do something like part B. One more note I want to make before we finish video 3 is sometimes in these problems on the homework assignment, you're going to get something like this. 2 plus the square root of -4 divided by 1 minus the square root of -8. You may have to take extra steps to simplify this and write it in terms of I, right? So square root of -4, that's the square root of 4i. The negative on the inside means an I, okay? And then square root of 4, you can simplify that to just be 2. And something like over here, again, the negative on the inside, they don't cancel because the negative on the inside means I. On the denominator, you get something like this, and you'd also have to simplify the square root of 8 again. Remember, split this up into 2 factors, one of which is a perfect square. So you'd split this up into 4 and 2 and simplify it that way. And again, if you want extra materials on how to simplify radicals like this, reach out to me, okay? Canvas, email, Slack, some of the best ways to do it, okay? Or if anyone's local, by the way, you can always stop by my office as well on campus, 1456. It's in the syllabus too, if you forget. So that's it. You should be able to do the rest of the problems now. Number 38 to 28. And if you'd like to, you can even say the smaller number first, 28 to 38. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye-bye.